Hello everyone. Welcome to another video on the FPL Weekly Show. In this video, I'm going to explain everything you need to know about how player price changes in FPL and how to predict the changes so that you don't get caught out and have to pay more for a transfer you were planning to do or lose value before you can sell them. I do recommend you watch the whole video because there could be information that could make even a tiny difference to your FPL season. If you do find this video useful, be sure to give it a like and please click subscribe. And click the notification bell so you always know when a new FPL weekly video goes live. Subpoint number 1. Price changes are affected only by activity in the FPL transfer market. What I mean is the current demand of FPL managers bringing in a player to their squad or selling a player. So even if a player scores a hat-trick in the game week and nobody buys him, then technically his price will stay the same. How a player performs on the pitch doesn't matter. Point number 2. A player's price can only go up or down by 0.1 million each day and a maximum of 0.3 million each week. So for example, before this game week, Kane's and Haaland's prices were both 11.5 million each. However, when Haaland played extremely well against West Ham yesterday and bagged 2 goals. And a lot of players decided to transfer out Kane for Haaland. If that number of FPL managers selling Kane reached a certain threshold, and the number of FPL managers buying Haaland reached a certain threshold, Kane's price will drop by 0.1 and Haaland's price will increase by 0.1. So Kane's new price is now 11.4 million. And Haaland's new price is now 11.6 million. So basically, if a player is transferred in more than they are being transferred out and it reaches a certain threshold determined by FPL, they will increase in price. And the same goes for when the player is transferred out more than they are transferred in, they will drop in price. I'll share with you later on in this video on how to predict when and how likely is a player's price going to rise or fall. Point 3. When do price changes happen? Price changes will always happen around the exact same time every 24 hours. The approximate time of price update is roughly around 1:30 AM GMT. So it's best to just finalize any transfers you may want to do by midnight. The important thing about knowing when price changes is that you can make a decision on transfers as close to the daily price update deadline as possible, and knowing that the price won't make you rethink your initial transfer plans. Point 4. In FPL, there are 3 types of prices you need to be aware of when doing transfers. Firstly, there's the purchase price, which is the price you paid for your player. Next is the current price, which is how much a player costs now in FPL. And thirdly, is the selling price, and this is how much you can sell the player for if you plan on selling them. To view this page, please use the list view on the transfer page. Let's go through an example of when a player goes up in price. If you bought Haaland at 11.5 million and his price rises to 11.6 million. Some FPL managers may think that they can sell him for 11.6 million. Unfortunately, the current price and selling price is not the same. This selling price may be less than the player's current purchase price, as a sell-on fee of 50%, rounded up to the nearest 0.1 million, will be applied on any profits made on that player. So you can only sell him for 11.5 million. So you need the price to increase by 0.2 million to earn a profit of 0.1 million. Just to be clear on this, say you bought a player at 10 million, and his price rises to 10.6 million. His selling price will only be 10.3 million, considering that FPL uses a 50% sell-on fee to input the final selling price. Unfortunately, this doesn't work the same way when a player drops in price. When a player drops in price, your selling price of your player also drops with it. So if you purchased Harry Kane at 11.5 million and his current price drops to 11.4 million, your selling price also drops to 11.4 million. Point 5. How to predict when and how likely is a player's price going to rise or fall. This can make a huge difference as getting maximum value for your squad over the course of the season and get ahead of FPL managers who may not know a player's price will rise or fall until FPL tweets about that price change. Well, there is this website who tracks the FPL transfers and predicts which players is imminently getting a price rise or fall. That is fplstatistics.co.uk, and it's pretty much accurate. Our main focus should be this target column, and it's going to move up and down depending on the net change of a player's buyers and sellers. The key thing to note is that under the target column, if a player is given a value of over 100 at the time of price change occurs, that player will increase in price by 0.1 million. But if a player's has minus 100 at that time, the price of the player will drop by 0.1 million. So right now, you can see in the FPL statistics table that Kulusevski and Martinelli are very close to a 0.1 million increase tomorrow, and if you do not want to pay that extra bit just to get them later in the same game week, you might want to do the transfer soon. So if you are planning on getting in a player for your team and the FPL statistics website is showing an imminent price increase, make sure you get that transfer in before the price increases. However, the downside is that if the price increase is happening early in the week like a Monday or Tuesday and the player doesn't play until Sunday, he could have an injury or some news comes out and he couldn't play and you will have wasted a transfer. So that's a risk. But ultimately, it's a good tool to plan your transfers, especially if a player is going to drop in price. You could have saved yourself a 0.1 million if you're not planning to hold the player long-term anyway. Point 6. How to optimize your squad value when using your wildcard. This strategy can help to improve your squad value if you do it right. You can make the most of it to build up team value, so the first thing to know is you should activate your wildcard as early as possible if you have decided to use it that week. However, when tinkering with your team, just be careful with making those transfers. Say you bought Mason Mount at 8 million and during the wildcard week, his current price is 9 million. Your selling price is only 8.5 million, and if you want him back later, you will have to pay the full 9 million. Even if it is later in the wildcard week. This way you can take advantage of any price rise and fall during that game week and start making transfers. For example, if you know that from FPL statistics that Mason Mount is going to fall in price, but you still plan to hold the player longer term, you can sell Mount first and buy him back 0.1 million cheaper the next day. You technically made 0.1 million. Therefore, you can use the wildcard to your advantage and take a proactive approach to increase your squad value. This helps put you at an advantage later on in the season, especially considering that we have 3 wildcards this season. That's all for a quick run through over FPL price changes. If you do find this video about price changes in FPL useful, be sure to give it a like and please click subscribe and the notification bell so you always know when a new FPL weekly video goes live and help us to reach out to more viewers. If there's still, feel free to ask any questions below and I'll try my best to answer them. Thank you, and I hope you had a good game week, and I'll see you on the next video.